Well, I don't know who's happier, me or those guys in the locker room, but I can't tell you how happy I am for them. It's really hard when you have a team that doesn't give up and works hard, and they don't get the things that you think the rewards that they should get for their hard work. And tonight to see them get it was really good, especially in a game that I thought was physical. I thought, we didn't prepare for them to do a triangle and two, and we sort of worked our way through that. That shows a lot of grit, a lot of basketball IQ, and a lot of character, which I've been talking about with this team all season long, in spite of the tough times. So really proud of them, really proud of them. So with that, I'll open it up for questions and fire away. Oh, yeah, everybody, go ahead.
Pretty physical and chippy right off the bat. Seemed like that gut shot on Berto really got everybody going.
I think we were going anyway. I mean, when you're 1-8, you just come ready to play. But I couldn't believe that happened. I just couldn't believe it. And then they didn't have enough on tape to do anything about it. It was the beginning of the game. But listen, if it helped fire us up, that's good. I liked our response to it, and the guys just weren't going to back down, which they don't do anyway. I wasn't surprised. I think I was madder than they were. They were calming me down.
Oregon State rebounded their opponent for the third straight game, something you guys struggled with earlier in Pac-12 play. I mean, talk about why have you guys improved so much?
Well, actually, you have to remember, Alex, we were doing well at that prior to the start of the conference, and so I thought that not having Eric is a big part of that. Then you get him back, and there's sort of this sort of discombobulation that's there from him being out for 3 games. So we're just getting our sea legs under us, basically. This team has rebounded better than any team I've coached. So I think we're just getting back on track. So I don't think it's anything with the last 3 teams that we've played. I just think, we're finally getting back to where we were before we had all the nonsense.
Coach, given Roberto and Joe's last couple weeks, where would you be without those 2 guys right now?
Well, we'd be 1-9. That's where we'd be, and we wouldn't be playing well. I mean, we're still, I still maintain that the last few games that we lost, we've played well, except for in these spurts, with 6 or 5 or 4 minutes to go. And those guys they just kept fighting, and they were going to make sure we weren't going to have one of those slip-ups. It was great to see Joe sort of take control out there, and he got the ball at the top of the key, and he was just going to make sure something good was going to happen. And then, Roberto, you guys probably didn't know. I'm sure he didn't tell you. I was this close to not starting him, and I was this close to not playing him based on how he got kneed in the thigh in practice Monday, couldn't walk Tuesday, and then today at the shoot-around he was still limping. So the fact that I was this close to not playing him, and he has 26 points in the kind of game he had, just shows, it's the players can do their thing. The coaches, we don't know anything. That kid had one of the best games I've seen, all-around games I've seen him have.
Were you aware how close Joe was to a triple-double?
No, I can't pay attention to that much stuff. I'm just trying to win the game. I had no idea that he was that close. And when we're playing, the thing that I pay attention in the games is I don't even know the score. I just know the difference in the score, and I know the fouls. That's what I pay attention to because I'm focused on what's going out on the court. But it doesn't surprise me because it seemed like he was doing stuff everywhere. And, everybody's going to talk about his offensive game. I want to point out the fact that he held Jason Washburn to 1 basket maybe, and it might have happened when Joe wasn't even on him. I don't know. I didn't even know if Joe was on him when he scored. So when you got a 6'6", 6'7" center playing against a 6'10" center who's a prolific scorer, that sort of anchors your defense. And I think a lot of people, once they take a look at this film, will be talking about that.
You guys have had your share of problems at the line, but you were 25 of 30 today. And I believe, hit the last 8.
Did we hit? So we did. Wow. Okay.
Was that something that, you know, I mean, is it something that they've been doing in practice that's kind of led up to that, or was it Roberto hitting all 9 of his, or?
No. You know what it is? I'm sure the guys got tired of losing games because they aren't making foul shots, so they're working on them even more so than they had before. We do our same routine every day, and when we scrimmage, the guys who don't shoot like 80% have to make their foul shots in order to get the ball back. So there's some pressure. We try and create all these different things to make the free throws at practice mean something. But really what it comes down to is that if you want to be a good foul shooter, you have to take a lot of foul shots when you're not at practice. And I just think guys have been doing that. They just got tired of missing them, and they're starting to make sure they work on them.
Craig, in terms of the defensive effort tonight, it just seemed like the rotations were just quicker, they're sharper, more gumption, so to speak.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it was the most complete defensive effort of the conference season?
Oh, absolutely. Easily of the conference season, and easily of a game where we played predominantly man-to-man. I think we played 2 or 3 or 4 possessions of the 1-3-1, and we were going to go zone on the out-of-bounds plays, but the guys on their own went right back to the man-to-man. So I thought there were a couple of things at work there. We communicated more on defense today than we have all season long, let alone the conference season. That's the first and foremost. Secondly, this is now the second half of the conference, so we are now 1 full year and a half into playing man-to-man. So that's just more experience doing it. So you get better. And then thirdly, when you're 1-8 and you want to be 2-8, you play better defense. That's what these guys were doing. They really tasted the fact that they needed to play very good defense in order to win this game.
Coach, Roberto was saying how Chalet really set the tempo for you guys tonight. Will you speak about that?
Yeah, this is the second time that Chalet's been able to get us going from a point guard standpoint. And I think what you're seeing is, when Ahmad is playing the point, people load up on him because he's a scoring point guard. Now you've got at least the pressure of having to bring the ball up and start the offense out of his hands, and it frees him up to do some more things, cut some more, get some better looks. And he didn't score much today, but the fact that he was running around and people had to worry about it helped other guys get open. So, yeah, Charlie's done a fantastic job, and Charlie took a knee to the thigh in the Stanford game, but he had another day to recover. So it was nice that he was able to have a good game tonight. And then that first 3 he hit was. Nobody thought that was going in, including him, so that was really nice for him.
Has his increased playing time been the reason for Jarmal Reed's decreased playing time?
Yeah, it's just the rotation works a little differently now, and I stated this after the Stanford game. You guys probably didn't hear, but I'm stating it after this game. It wasn't because of anything Jarmal did. It's just something that we had to try differently, and but when we put him in and we put him on a guy who can score, that guy has a tough time scoring. So he's still one of our better defenders.
You've talked about the void in leadership in the past couple of weeks.
Right.
Has that been fixed at all?
Oh, boy, your questions are so absolute. And nothing's absolute. I think it's getting better. I think Roberto's stepping up today and being a real leader out there is a sign that we're moving in the right direction. That's number one. Number two, Chalet starting at the point guard is helping the rest of the guys because all he has to do is start the offense and get us going. That's some leadership there. And he has natural point guard leadership ability. So I think those two are the 2 things you're seeing. And then the way Joe's playing, he's just feeling more like a leader, so he doesn't even realize that he's acting more like a leader out there. So I don't think the void is filled at all, because the personalities of these guys, I mean, you talk to these guys enough, you see how deferential they are to each other. They're just good friends and they don't want to get on each other, but they're starting to emerge as, all right, if not one of us is going to do it, then we've got to do it collectively.
Greg, do you expect this game to be a springboard for your second half?
Yeah, well, I'd love it to be. I'd love it to be, but we won't know until we have the second half. I mean, you know, we wanted the first win against Washington to be a springboard. Now we can't turn around and have a horrible game. I think in this conference, everybody can beat everybody on a given night. And it's been shown in the numbers that home court doesn't mean as much this year. I think the percentage is like 57 or 58% of the home games are being won. So that's not much of a home court advantage throughout the league. But we'd love for this to be a springboard. I think with the way these guys are going to work, it has a good shot at being that. I mean, you know, at some point, you lose a game, you play well and you lose a game, it's not much you can do. As long as we're not playing poorly, I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, each game I go into, it feels like we have a good shot at winning, and then they go out and play like we have a shot at winning. That's when you can put together if you can put together a couple of good outings, then next thing you know, you start thinking you can win all those games.
Talking about a springboard, besides a gut check to Roberto, it seemed like the guys have a different kind of edge to them. Is that something that is required, or they just get sick of losing?
You know, Phil, the edge that they had tonight was the edge we had before we started losing. And so we lost our edge. Can we get it back is the question. Well, you play a game like this where instead of taking a 9-point lead and then you win by 5 and you're feeling, oh, man, we just barely won the game. You win a 9-point lead and then you win by 18. Then you start thinking, okay, let's take all the good things we've done and get our mojo back.
It just seemed like they kind of had that more of a killer instinct that they just wanted to put them down.
I think that comes from being in quicksand for a long time. I mean, you know, you get out, you really want to take it out on somebody. And also, I thought that the chippiness of the game at the beginning got them very focused on sort of, okay, let's get going.
Looking ahead to Colorado, I mean, what's your early impression?
Yeah, I know you just couldn't wait to ask that question, Mr. Colorado, but. No, I haven't looked at them since we have such a big, such a long time off. But you know, they're a team that's, you know, I've been so mired in my own stuff. I might be off with my statement here, but I think they're a bubble team right now for the NCAA tournament, and they're going to come in fired up, looking at our record and thinking, okay, we got a chance to move up against these guys, and we have to look at this as like, hey, this is a chance for us to go on a little bit of a roll here of our own. So it's probably going to be a very tight game. You know, they've got some really good players, good young players, and they've got a prolific rebounder in Robertson. I just, you know, I'll look at the tape, but we you know, if we're still worried about ourselves. If we can play like this, then it should be an interesting game.